So welcome back, friends, to the homestead. I have something very special for you today, something very interesting. So our friend of the channel, Ken, and hi to his lovely wife, Sherry, Ken sent us another very interesting tool that I have never seen the likes of before. Maybe you have. This here, do you know what this is? Can you see how it works there? It's got a handle on it, socket on the end. This is a force multiplier or a torque multiplier, and he claimed that it was so powerful that even the sweet loaf could use it to loose a lug nut. I don't know if I'd go that far or not, but let's take a look at it. Let's get inside of it, see what makes it work, and then we'll try it out in a real world experiment and see if indeed it does work. Let's take a quick look at this up close here. So what we have is basically a little transmission, a gear reduction device that, according to the manufacturer, is an 18-to-1 gear reduction. So as we turn this handle, look how fast I'm turning. I'm turning, like if I go all the way around, it just turns a little bit. So when we turn this 18 times, this should turn around once. And what that does is it gives us tremendous leverage. I haven't tried it yet, but according to the manufacturer, you can, and anyone, it said even easy enough to use, or easy enough for a woman to use. I ran that title by Mrs. W and see if what she thought of that, and she said maybe I should go put some high heels on and come out and see if a woman can even operate it. And I said, but you don't own any high heels. She's like, yeah, that's a problem. All right, so we have the main body here. This is the handle for doing the cranking, and then it came with the 3 sockets, 21, 19, and 17 mm. It says on there. MM, what does that stand for? Mickey Mouse, that's what that stands for. All right, so let's take it apart and look inside, see what makes it tick. I'm actually excited to see what's inside of this, how the gears work. And typically with these things, there's never enough grease in them. And when I was turning it by hand, I could feel that it was a little bit gritty. I don't know why companies go to the trouble of making something and cheaping out on the grease. I mean, how hard is it to, oh, look at that. It's a planetary. It's a little planet. Uh-oh. Oh, goodness. We're getting in deep now. It's a planetary gear. What's that part? That's the part that the handle fits into. 1/2-inch drive. So there's a gear on that. So look at that. That is fascinating. So as you turn this guy right here, that's got to drop down in. Did it fall down? How did that work? Why is it not working now here? What have I done? There we go. So look at that. So as we turn it, are those sun gears, I think? Look at that. That's fascinating, isn't it? How they walk around there. So clever. Who came up with that? I mean, that's a commonly done gear. I mean, I remember first time I saw these type of gears, these planetaries, were in my granddad and I used to rebuild transmissions for a little extra money, C6 and C4 Fords, or he did. I stood around there and handed him wrenches. But that's where I first learned about those gears and how they work. And you can get so much leverage with them, their strength. So let's pull this off here. So we've got the little gear there. Sorry, I don't know all the nomenclature there. We've got these 2 little sun gears, and that comes out. Oh, it's the same thing on both sides. Yeah, same thing. It's actually got quite a bit of grease in there. I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. So those all kind of mesh together. It's actually quite a simple little tool, isn't it? Very, very ingenious. But, of course, I can see that grease in there is not near as good as our bell ray. So let's get some in there, right? You just can't. See, we've got teeth on the outside too, and those are actually dry. Nothing better than something that's all nice and got a nice fresh coat of waterproof grease on it. I like that there. This brown grease here is kind of ganky looking. We'll get that thing working good. Put that in there. Nice. Let's put a little grease on these top guys here too. Not going to hurt them at all, is it? It's going to make everyone happier. There we go. That feels a lot better. I've got some grease in there. I like to see a tool that you can take apart and service. If you were to break one of those little sun gears in there, you could always replace it. Typically, this is the part that breaks on there. But all right, let's take it out and try it out. See how it works. We'll try this out on Mrs. W's 4Runner here. Now, typically to do this, I would just use a flex, as my granddad called it, a flex handle or a breaker bar. I don't know what the advantage of this would be over the flex handle. I mean, price-wise, they're pretty comparable, but we'll see. So we'll stick the lug nut on there. So this thing here, let me bring you up closer so you can see what's going on. And then if you look, you see that there? That's got kind of that articulating arm there. It's got an opening on it, which I assume would slide over another lug nut to keep it supported. And then I'll turn this until it matches up with the, there we go. That's pretty simple. Let's see, right tight, lefty loosen, righty tighty. So these have been torqued, so I don't know what they are, but they're tight. So let's say I'll just take my left hand, it's my weaker hand. Look at that. That just loosened that right up. Is that simple? And if I wanted to tighten it, well, you'd have to be careful. You could just bust a stud off with this thing. That's pretty amazing, actually. Let's try it on this one here. Maybe that was just loose. That fits on there. And left hand. Wow. That 18-to-1 is pretty incredible. Just for fun, you know, to do the same thing with a flex handle. I mean, it's going to do the same thing here. But what's the advantage of this other than just I mean, it's definitely cool. It's going to take up less space. I just realized something else. So this has got a 1/2 inch. So once you got that loose, you could actually use this. You know, if you had some, yeah, see that's too tight. I can't get that off just by itself. No way. Let's say that you, so you could loosen these, right? With the deal. Here, let's try that one more time here. I had an idea. Gosh, gears are just fascinating, aren't they? You could loosen your lug nut. Wow, that's really amazing. Isn't that cool? Huh. Point is making, once you loosened it, you could use this here to take it off the rest of the way. Say, sometimes, you know, like when you go to the beach, you know, your lug nuts will get rusty if they're exposed. And you need a wrench all the way, but that would definitely work. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So let's find out, is it really easy enough for a woman to use? We'll go get Mrs. W. I apologize for the barking, it's our Russian elk hound. So I have been told that this tool here is so simple that even a woman can use it. Does that make you excited?
Oh, very excited.
Because
actually, what makes me excited is that
I'm sorry that I've got the microphone right here.
What makes me excited is that you came running up to me and said, "This tool is cool."
This is pretty cool.
And I'm like, oh.
Well, you had a lug nut problem on the van. What was that? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You called me late at night, and what happened?
Well, can we get the elk hound first? She's barking. You okay?
Thor, come. Actually, she doesn't answer by Thor. She answers by Heart Racer. Heart Racer, come. Come on. Come on. This is our fearsome Russian elk hound.
So a couple of years ago, I was driving the van back, and this was our old van, and it's the reason we have a new van is because the old van is falling apart. 300,000 miles, just rusty. It was
getting old. We'd been to the beach a few times, and so the lug nuts were exposed, the studs were exposed, and you got a flat tire and you tried to change it, and didn't you say you were jumping on the thing and it still wouldn't come loose?
I was literally jumping on it, and I had a skirt and sandals on. I was not...
And it was raining on the side of a dangerous interstate.
I was on the interstate, and so it was not good.
That's why you married me, babe, to save you. So this is a torque multiplier.
Okay.
So it's hooked up to your lug nut here, so the pressure you exert on here is increased 18 times. So this is a tight torque nut. Go ahead and try to take that off. Righty tighty, lefty loose.
It's so simple, a woman can do it.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah.
So there you have it. So simple, even a woman could use it. So this is how it would traditionally be done.
I have to let you know, he does think of me as a strong woman.
There's no doubt about that. If I ever forget it, she reminds me.
I'll
tell you the
cross
first.
country ski,
Oh,
so
I'll tell you a funny story. We had just started dating, and of course, you know, when you first start dating someone, I knew she was quality, so I thought I gotta, you know, make myself look as good as I can and as agreeable as possible. You were really into hiking.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go hiking. Well, you know, I'm not much into hiking. I'm more of a sprinter than and I'm not actually very good at that either. So she of course, she picks this. It was basically a simple rock climb, how I remember it. Was that about right? Anyway, we got up there, and I was trying to keep up in front, and I was dying to death. I was trying not to, you know, hyperventilate. I mean, it was really steep, and I had to fake was it a knee injury or an ankle injury? Like, oh, you know, I don't know if I ever told you that or not.
So one of the things I love about Cody is he is a great storyteller, and he can make me laugh over the most ridiculous things like this. I'm sure he did not fake an injury. I'm sure he kept up with me just fine. But
that's how I remember it anyway. I
Did
remember
you tell him
it
about
was
the toothpaste.
The toothpaste? Oh, so we had the worst argument we've ever had in our life last night, right? No. So we got on the topic of toothpaste, and we've been married for 15 years.
Yeah.
And in that 15 years of time, I have gotten by on 3 tubes of toothpaste. And I don't know what it is. Every time I go for it, I'm getting arthritis trying to squeeze that last little bit, and I'm thinking to myself, why does she not buy toothpaste? I mean, I told her yesterday, I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to go out in the yard and dig for minerals. They've got nothing here. So we went to the store last night. And you bought 6 tubes. It was like the first time in 15 years I squeezed it from the middle. It was awesome.
But the thing is,
awesome.
So I got home, and I guess I feel like you can squeeze from the bottom and roll it, right? And then when you get to the end, when you're done, you throw it away. So I pulled out all the ones that were left, right, that have a good 5 or 6 toothpaste
This is that
uses.
Midwestern frugalness
And
that
there
is
were like
I'm
10
constantly
of them
up
left,
against.
which is like 50 days worth of toothpaste.
Or 7 years in our case, 15. Anyway, we got it all resolved. We're crystal clear on that. And she said, I didn't know.
I thought there was plenty of
It's like my granddad. I'll finish with this. I'm sorry. This is getting off the point. My granddad you ever hear him complain about anything?
No, except once.
One time. He never complained about anything. He ate everything. We used to go to buffets, and he, of course, I told you, he lived through the Depression, so he wouldn't waste anything. And us being kids, not going through the Depression, you know, we'd have food on our plate. He would eat, he just couldn't stand it. He'd eat everything. So the one thing he did not like, and that was peas. And my grandmother served him peas for 60 years? She served them all the time. Never once complained. And I think we were there when it finally came up. I think he finally got to a point where
I think I said, honestly, I don't like peas. And
well, you started it.
And he said,
that's right.
Neither do I.
And
my
Nana said,
what?
Why didn't you tell me? So he endured hateful peas, and I agree, peas are disgusting. Hateful peas for 60 years and never complained about it. Now that is extraordinary.
Yeah, and you did so well 15 years without toothpaste. Enough toothpaste, because you always had toothpaste.
Kind of. Anyway. All right, so what do we learn here? What do you think?
We learned that I can take care of this. Apparently I don't need you anymore.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and tighten that back up.
Okay, so you just had me come over and wind, so I'm not sure what you want me to do here.
Which one did you loosen? This one here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just put that on there.
Oh, and this is just to stabilize
That's just a holder. Yeah, hold it there. And don't go too tight because you can break the stud off. It's got so much torque. I imagine probably about as tight as you can get it with your left hand.
My left hand.
Or one hand. That's good. I'll put a torque wrench on it.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to go cross-country skiing.
All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Don't be gone too long. I've got the box set of Manimal.
What?
The director's cut with commentary.
What are you talking about?
The 1983 TV series. The guy that can turn the shapeshift into any animal. Best show ever made.
Don't know it.
Yeah, Manimal. Director's cut with commentary.